Okay, so my name is Summer Klickus, and I'm doing this presentation for Remedial Techniques, Dr. Brown's class. It's a professional development video on what I would do with one of my students that I tested this semester. The student I tested, her name was Ava. She's in 6th grade at Carbondale Area Elementary School. She struggled, her main area, my main concern for her was her comprehension, remembering key details, as well as her retell after doing the DIBELS assessment. One of the strategies I would have her use if I were recommending, I would have her reread this DIBELS passage. It was titled Hello Hong Kong. This is a good strategy for students too, because most oftentimes with DIBELS, students only get through a little bit of the passage because DIBELS is timed for a minute. So this is something they often like to do, is finish the passage to see what's going on. So what I would have her do then is reread the passage in its entirety. And upon doing so, you can see here that I cut out details, key details in the story. So you can see here that I typed them all up. What I would have Ava do, and this could be done in groups, this could be done in pairs, this can also be done individually. So she had a main gist of each story, but she just wasn't able to recall key details. Therefore, what I would have her do is put these key details into order, into sequential order, I should say. So again, this is what I started with. These were the details of the story. And this is what she would put into order. Now you can see in my picture that I'm giving you right now, I have the key details in vertical order, meaning obviously I'm going up and down. A lot of times kids like to go in horizontal order, like they read from left to right. So that would be an option too. This can also be modified because this may be hard for some students, especially those who really struggle. This student didn't particularly struggle terribly, just again, like I said, with key details. So I do believe she'd be able to be successful in this sequencing activity. However, there are some modifications that you can make. You'll see on the back, I numbered them. So what I would do with the numbers is maybe I would have number 1 set up for her, and let's just say number 4 set up for her. And maybe I have 6 and 7 and say 11 set up for her. And that way she could fill in the blanks of where each event goes. Another modification that could be had here is she can look back. I would allow her to look back to the story to see what order exactly the details went in. But again, I didn't feel that she was struggling that bad that she needed look backs. For higher order thinking, what you can always do with students is you can have them create questions and answers, and that will help their comprehension too. And I've also noticed that with doing that, they enjoy it because they feel like they are taking part in something, and you can always tell them that you plan to use, a certain amount of comprehension questions for the next test or the next assessment that you do on that story. Another higher order thinking skill is you can have students create their own timeline. So say Ava just read that story without even looking at any of this. I could have her create her own timeline. And that would be a good assessment for me so that I can see, what key details she is missing, what she understands, and what she needs assistance with. So basically that's what I would do as far as this activity goes. This would be sequencing and creating a timeline to understand key details a little bit better. You can also always do a close read. That helps very well with comprehension, especially if children are doing that whole group. So basically, as you already know what a close read is, it's, you know, at least 3 reads of a story, breaking it apart and taking notes as you're reading and, you know, asking questions. So that is another strategy that can be used for Ava's struggles. All right, so that concludes my video for right now. And